Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom, Shaboy King Hebrew, coming to you live with another video. In this video called, well, basically, we're gonna get the breakdown. I'm gonna get Micah's true prophecy, right? Second Chronicles chapter 18 and verse 12. Okay, we're gonna get the breakdown of that. Give me 1 minute. Slack you. All right, so this is dealing with Second Chronicles chapter 18 and verse 12, dealing with Micah's true prophecy, right? um I actually want to let's start at verse Second Chronicles chapter 18 and verse 4. All right, now this is a man, right? I'm gonna kind of break it down. This is a man by the name of Ahab. He was a king in Israel. Ahab. You know what I'm saying? Um Second Chronicles chapter 18 and verse 4. And he had to go to war. Now the point is, Ahab, before he went out to war, he was trying to get counsel, right? He was trying to get counsel. So basically he was trying to get advice from his other generals as to if he should go to war, right? At a place called Ramoth Gilead to battle, right? And he was trying to get advice from his own peoples. But the thing is, all of his people in his army, they all said that he was going to be victorious. And there was this one man by the name of Micah, who was a man of God. He had a vision that Ahab was going to die. But that was something that Ahab's people never told him. You know what I'm saying? So we're kind of, you know what I'm saying? That's pretty much the whole breakdown of it. And we're going to get the breakdown real quick. All right, so we'll go Second Chronicles chapter 18 and verse 4. And Jehoshaphat, which was like his right hand man, said unto the king of Israel, Inquire, I pray thee, at the word of the Lord today. Therefore, the king of Israel gathered together of prophets 400 men, right? And said unto them, Shall we go to Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall I forbear? And they said, Go up, for God will deliver it in the king's hand. Right. So they all said the 400 men, right? The prophets, the 400 men told him to go and battle, and he was going to be successful. All right. So now we're going to go verse 6. But Jehoshaphat said, is there not here a prophet of the Lord besides that we might inquire of him? And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, Yet there is yet one man by whom we may inquire of the Lord, but I hate him, for he never prophesied good unto me, but always evil. The same is Micaiah, I think it's Micaiah, the son of Imlah. And Jehoshaphat said, Let not the king say so. So 400 men just told him, yeah, go to war. Everything's going to be strawberries and bananas. Everything going to be cool. But they said, so now Jehoshaphat says, is there anybody else who is like, is there anybody else who thinks that we shouldn't go to battle? And they all said this one man by the name of Micaiah, right? Micaiah, right? He had a prophecy. He had a vision that King Ahab was going to die. You know what I'm saying? Contrary to what his 400 army men told him. Verse 8. And the king of Israel called for one of his officers and said, Fetch quickly Micaiah, the son of Imlah. So they went and got Micaiah. And the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, sat either of them on his throne, clothed in their robes, and they sat in a void place at the entering in of the gate of Samaria, and of the prophets prophesied before them. And Zedekiah the son of Shenanah, had made him horns of iron, and said, thus said the Lord, with these thou shalt push Syria until they be consumed. So they were going to go to battle at Ramoth Gilead to fight the Syrians. And all the prophets prophesied so, saying, go up to Ramoth Gilead and prosper, for the Lord shall deliver it in the hand of the king. For the Lord shall deliver it into the hand of the king. So he had King Ahab had 400 prophets, and they all told him to go to war at Ramoth Gilead against the Syrians. And they said, all 400 said they were going to prosper, or he was going to prosper. Nobody said he was going to die. They all told him things that he wanted to hear, but not telling him the truth, right? Because there's a difference between telling somebody what they want to hear and telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? But Micaiah, he had the prophecy, he had the vision. He said, actually, you're gonna die in this battle. You're not gonna prosper, you're gonna die. All right. Verse 12. And the messenger that went to call Micaiah spoke to him, saying, behold, the words of the prophets declare good to the king with one assent. Let thy word, therefore, I pray thee, be like one of theirs, and speak thou good. So they told Micaiah to just, you know what I'm saying, just speak like everybody else. Just say that King Ahab, you know what I'm saying, is gonna prosper, everything's gonna be good. Just tell him what he wants to hear, right? So Micaiah in verse 13, and Micaiah said, as the Lord liveth, even what my God saith, that will I speak. So he said, listen, I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. Whatever the Lord wants me to tell you is going to be from the Lord. I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen pretty much. Verse 14, and when he was come to the king said unto him, Micaiah, shall we go to Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall I forbear? And he said, go ye up and prosper, and they shall be delivered into your hand. So now he was actually saying what everybody else was saying. But check how the king responded in verse 15. And the king said unto him, how many times shall I acquire thee, that thou shalt say nothing but the truth to me in the name of the Lord? So Micaiah probably said it sarcastically, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Go and win the war, win the battle. You're gonna prosper. You know what I'm saying? Like he probably didn't sound confident when he said it. You know what I'm saying? And the king probably caught on to that. That's why he asked of him. That's why he said, are you sure? How come you're not telling me the truth? You know what I'm saying? So the king was already catching on based on how Micaiah was saying it. You know what I'm saying? He wanted the truth though. You know what I'm saying? Verse 16. Then he said, I did see all Israel scattered upon the mountains as sheep that have no shepherd. And the Lord said, these have no master. Let them return, therefore, every man to his house in peace. So now he went from saying that he's going to prosper, right? Trying to sound like everybody else. The king caught on to that, saying, okay, I know you're lying. Tell me the truth. And he said, okay, well, I have a vision that all your men are going to be in battle without the shepherd, meaning Ahab, meaning they're going to be without King Ahab. They're the sheep and he's a shepherd. So basically, he said that all the sheep are gonna be scattered without a shepherd. Basically, King Ahab was gonna die. And now the king responded in verse 17, and the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, did I not tell thee that he would prophesy? No, did I not tell thee that he would not prophesy good unto me, but evil? So the king is going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? He said to tell him the truth. He told him the truth. And now he's saying, how come this guy is always coming up here talking about some nonsense? How come I tell him, you know what I'm saying? The king is just going back and forth like ping pong. You know what I'm saying? He wants the truth. No. He basically wants you to lie, but then he knows that you're lying about lying. He wants you to tell the truth. And when you tell the truth, now he wants you to lie. You know what I'm saying? So he's going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? It's just a game. It's just a game. So basically, he can't handle the truth. He can't take the truth. All right. Now, verse 18, again he said, therefore, hear the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting upon his throne, and all the host of heaven standing on his right hand and on his left. And the Lord said, who shall entice Ahab, king of Israel, that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one spake, saying after this manner, and another saying after that manner. Then there came out a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will entice. And the Lord said unto him, wherewith? And he said, I will go out and be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And the Lord said, thou shalt entice him, and thou shalt also prevail. Go out and do even so. So now the Lord has everything planned out up in the heavens, right? He has pretty much like a little meeting with his angels. So now the Lord is saying, who's going to entice King Ahab to go out to battle, thinking he's going to prosper, right? And now the angels are like talking amongst each other. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to put together a plan. And one spirit, the spirit of lies, right? Pretty much, I'm going to say the devil. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to just skip, you know what I'm saying? John chapter 8 and verse 44, a precept to that. Now, notice how it said in verse 20, then there came out a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will entice him. And the Lord said, wherewith? So all these angels, these angels were trying to come up with some kind of plan, right, on how to convince King Ahab to go out to Ramoth Gilead to fight the Syrians, thinking that he's going to prosper. But that one spirit came out, man. That same spirit that the Lord told to go try Job, right? To completely try him, because he's a man of righteousness. You know what I'm saying? The Lord, you know what I'm saying? The Lord had a conversation with the devil. You know what I'm saying? The devil put boils all over Job's skin. You know what I'm saying? So it was the devil. Because the devil's job, his job is to accuse you without cause. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he did with Ahab and the prophets. He tried to convince Ahab. He spoke to Ahab through 400 men, right, saying that he's gonna prosper when really he wasn't gonna prosper. That was the spirit of Satan in all 400 of his men to convince him that he was gonna really be successful and prosper in that battle, right? In the book of John, chapter 8 and verse 44, ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. All right, so now we know that this spirit was Satan. Satan presented himself before the Lord and said, I'm going to convince Ahab through 400 of his men that he should go out to battle and thinking and say he's going to prosper, right? So I'm going to lie to him, telling him that he's going to prosper through his 400 men, right? Verse 22, now therefore, behold, the Lord hath put a lying spirit. The devil is a liar. He's the liar. He's the father of lies, right? But notice how because the Lord told him. Now listen, the same way the Lord told Job to go try his servant, the same way the Lord told Satan. I mean, the same way the Lord told Satan to try Job, he told Satan to tell Ahab, to convince Ahab to go to battle, thinking he's going to prosper by putting a lying spirit in all 400 of his men. That's why it said, and the Lord put a lying spirit. Why? Because Satan had to present himself unto the Lord. Satan was not going to go to Ahab without the Lord's permission. The Lord said, what? Right? Because Satan presented himself, saying, I will entice him. In verse 20, he says, I will entice him. And the Lord said unto him, wherewith? Verse 21, Satan said, I will go out and be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And the Lord said, you shall entice him, and you shall also prevail. Go out and do even so, right? So now Satan told God, I'm going to do what I do best. I'm going to lie. I'm going to put a lying spirit in 400 of his men. The Lord said, you know what? You're right. Go do your job. Go. And you're going to prevail. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to convince him. And it said in verse 22, now therefore, behold, the Lord hath put a lying spirit in the mouth of these thy prophets, and the Lord has spoken evil against thee. Verse 23, then Zedekiah the son of Chenanah came near and smote Micaiah upon the cheek and said, which way went the spirit of the Lord from me to speak unto you? right? So now one of the people, Zedekiah, the son of Chenanah, smote Micaiah because they didn't like what he said, saying that King Ahab was gonna actually die, being that again what the sheep had no shepherd, right? Basically saying Ahab was gonna die. Verse 25. Then the king of Israel said, take ye Micaiah and take him back to Amon, the governor of the city, and to Joash, the king's son, and say, thus saith the king, put this fellow in prison and feed him with bread of affliction and with water of affliction until I return in peace. Verse 27. And Micaiah said, if thou certainly return, then if thou certainly return in peace, then hath not the Lord spoken by me? And he said, hearken all ye people. So he said, okay, you're telling me you're gonna come in peace. I'm telling you, you're not gonna come in peace. If you don't come, if you come in peace, the Lord didn't speak to me. You know what I'm saying? So they kind of made a bet. And he told everybody, he told all the witnesses around him, he says, I want you guys to see if he doesn't come back, who was right. You know what I'm saying? So he kind of made a bet, and he had everybody around, you know what I'm saying, witness the bet that they had, you know what I'm saying? Because he said, if the Lord didn't speak to me, you're gonna come back alive, right? Verse 25, verse 27. And Micaiah said, if thou certainly return in peace, then hath not the Lord spoken by me. And he said, hearken all you people. So he said, watch if he comes back alive. Verse 28. So the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, went to Ramoth Gilead. And the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, I will disguise myself and I will go out to battle, and put thou on thy robes. So the king of Israel disguised himself, and they went out to the battle. Now the king of Syria had commanded the captains of the chariots that were with him, saying, fight ye not with great or small, save only with the king of Israel. And it came to pass, when the captains of the chariots saw Jehoshaphat, and they said, it is the king of Israel. Therefore they compassed about him to fight. But Jehoshaphat cried out, and the Lord helped him, and God moved them to depart from him, right? So uh the man, now the captain for the Assyrians. So now King Ahab is going to war, right? Right. So now he wants to know who's right and who's wrong, but he's skeptical because how is it that you're a king and you're disguising yourself as one of your own men, right? A shepherd can dress up as the sheep, you know what I'm saying? But he's second guessing himself. You know what I'm saying? He's second guessing whether or not he's gonna die or not. That's why he said he's gonna disguise himself to go into battle, right? And the king of Syria by the name of Ben Hadad, these two men, Ahab and Ben Hadad, these two men, Ahab spared Ben Hadad in a past battle, right? Going back to, I believe it's First Kings chapter 20 and verse 35. You know what I'm saying? You guys gotta read it in the spirit. You know what I'm saying? And the Lord told Ahab to kill Ben Hadad, but he didn't do it, right? So now they're meeting each other again. And now Ben Hadad, he's telling his people in Syria, hey, once you guys come across this guy named Ahab, the king of Israel, don't deal with nobody else but him. I want you to save him, to kill him, right? Let's see if the previous battle is in First Kings chapter 20 and verse 35, right? Okay, it's in First Kings chapter 10 and verse 35, right? Um, Slocky. First Kings chapter 20 and verse 35. That's the previous battle, right? So Ahab, he let dude go a long time ago. And now they're meeting each other again, right? But Ahab, he killed Ben Hadad's men in the past battle. So now Ben Hadad, he remembers all that, right? He still remembers that Ahab killed his army men. So he still has revenge. He still has a grudge against this dude, right? The same dude that Ahab spared, he's meeting again. And now, buddy, but he has a revenge on him. You know what I'm saying? Salaki. There was something else. I just came across something real quick. Salaki. Trying to see what the heck does this precept I have here have to do with what I'm looking at right now. What in the world? Con. So now they're back at it, right? So now all Ben Hadad's men are now looking for Ahab specifically, right? Because now he has a revenge on him. Chapter verse 31. And it came to pass when the captains of the chariots saw Jehoshaphat, and they said, "It is the king of Israel." Therefore they compassed about him to fight. But Jehoshaphat cried out, and the Lord helped him, and God moved them to depart from him. So Jehoshaphat, Ahab's right hand man, was dressing up like him. Remember how Ahab said, "I'm gonna disguise myself, dressing up as one of my men. I'm gonna have you, my right hand man, dress up as me." You know what I'm saying? So he kind of was setting him up. You know what I'm saying? That's what it sounds like, right? But when the men saw Jehoshaphat and saw that it wasn't Ahab, even though he had on his garment, his robe, and everything, they didn't really kill him because the Lord put a spirit in them to acknowledge and see that it wasn't the king, right? And they departed from him. Verse that was verse 31. Now this is verse 32. For it came to pass that when the captains of the chariots perceived that it was not the king of Israel, they turned back again from pursuing him. Verse 33. And a certain man drew a bow at a venture and smote the king of Israel between the joints of the harness. Therefore he said to his chariot man, "Turn your hand, that you mayest carry me out of this host, for I am wounded." And the battle increased that day. Howbeit the king of Israel stayed himself up in his chariot against the Syrians until the even, and about the time of the sun going down, he died. Just like that. So they caught Ben. They caught Ahab, and they killed him. They killed him, man, straight like that. You know what I'm saying? All because he didn't do what the Lord told him to do in the previous battle by letting Ben Hadad go. He was supposed to Ben kill Ben Hadad. He didn't do it, man. And of course, his judgment was he was gonna die. You know what I'm saying? And that's the judgment, man. That's judgment. That's judgment. So that was pretty much the breakdown. Again, if listen, man, when the Lord tells you to do something, bro, basically you got to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because you guys got to go back to, you guys got to kind of read First Kings chapter 20. First Kings chapter 20. You're gonna get that whole breakdown on how the previous battle and the previous thing went about and how it led up to this right here. So you guys got to understand that, man. Again, you got to read things in the spirit. Um, you know what I'm saying? Again, he didn't do what the Lord told him to do. The Lord that was basically his judgment. A prophet told him that he was gonna get killed. He still went. He was trying to dress up like somebody else, and he still got caught up. The point is, you can't run from God's judgment. You could have on a wig, you could bleach your skin, you can do whatever. You cannot escape God's judgment. Whatever God's judgment, if Yahweh has judgment set upon you, there's no hiding it. There's no running away from it. There's no dressing up as this. There's just no point. There's no point. You're gonna get caught up either way. The Lord he knows what you're gonna do. He knows this already. All right. So pray, fast, and repent. That was a quick breakdown of First Chronicles. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you guys were edified. Hopefully, Lord willing, you guys understood how this story can a lot of us can certainly relate to this story. You know what I'm saying? How people just don't listen, doing what they want to do, right? Getting caught up. You know what I'm saying? And a whole bunch of foolishness. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole bunch of nonsense, man. Pray, fast, and repent. Read the story for yourself. Go back to First Kings and get the previous account. Lord willing, we could break that down very, very soon. Again, it's your boy King Hebrew. I love y'all. Pray fast and repent. Pray fast and repent. Thank the Lord for another day. Pray fast and repent. Keep the commandments. Keep the high holy days. The new moon coming Wednesday. You feel me? King Hebrew, signing out. Shalom.